Here's a question for you. What were you doing 12 years ago? Because that's how long it's been since the first Puss in Boots film was released, and back then I never actually watched the film, but now I have watched it and it was a solid entry for Puss in Boots. I thought it had some good characters, including Humpty Dumpty, Kitty Softpaws was introduced as well, and now we have a sequel with Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. During the late 90s to early 2000s, Antonio Banderas was a very busy man doing films like The Mask of Zorro, Spy Kids, and also getting into the Shrek franchise with the Puss in Boots character, and with this film he once again lends his voice to the main star. Salma Hayek also returns from the first film to voice Kitty Softpaws, and with her character she's really the only one where having some prior knowledge of that character would help, but it's not essential. And there are a couple of cameos which were great to see, and they did make sense to the story as well. They weren't just sort of shoehorned in for nostalgia bait.
Hey, remember Ghostbusters? Oh, I remember.
One notable change which you'll see straight away is that they have adapted the animation style since that first Puss in Boots film, as well as the other Shrek films, and that's especially the case for the action scenes, where they have definitely taken a page out of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse's book with that style, and I think it was a brave choice but one which succeeds, and it's very pleasing on the eyes. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish at its core is an adventure film, and it does share a parallel with the original Shrek film with having a centre trio, because we do have Puss here as well as Kitty and also this very cute dog called Perrito. And he is very much the heart of the film. He does have a tragic backstory, but with how this character is, he's got such a positive outlook on things that it never makes the film overly sad when we learn about it. And with that in mind, I felt like this film is very well balanced. The director Joel Crawford said, we really tried to just design the movie like a roller coaster. You're going to get this full spectrum of laughter, tears, scares, and hopefully at the end, cheers. And I think with this film, he's achieved that. And I think the decision to keep Puss's story quite straightforward was a critical one, because with this film we have Puss looking at his 9 lives and now he's down to his final one, so he can no longer live as dangerously, but he's got a wolf chasing after him to try and hunt him down, so he finds out about the magical star which grants wishes, so he wants to head out, find the star and restore his 8 lives. And thus that's how the trio of Puss, Kitty and Polito gets formed. However, there are other characters who would also like that wish, including Goldilocks and the 3 bears. I knew straight away that one of these bears was voiced by Ray Winston, but the other voices were a little bit more harder to detect, and when I found out who actually voices them, I was actually pleasantly surprised. I thought they did some fantastic voice work, and I won't let you know who they are. I think it would be a nice surprise if you haven't watched the film yet to find out afterwards. Jack Horner is another character who wants that wish, and once the film settles down it really does turn into quite a cat and mouse chase, but in this instance with the cats being chased. And having these offbeat fairy tale characters has always been a staple of the Shrek franchise and one of its key strengths. And with this film being just over 100 minutes in length, I thought it did a fantastic job in terms of time management to give all these characters their opportunity in the spotlight. In the first 2 Shrek films we had villains like Lord Farquaad and the fairy godmother, and here we have this mysterious wolf who's constantly stalking Puss and whistling as he approaches him, and the whistling itself is very intimidating. I mean, we've seen this sort of thing in shows like The Walking Dead, how whistling can make such an impact. This film deserves great credit for how it tackles themes of morality, and there's even a scene where Puss has a panic attack, and I thought that was also handled very well. But as discussed earlier, this film has a great balance, so we get these intense scenes, but then we also get those where there's jokes aimed for adults, and there's also a great musical number at the start of the film as well, so it really does have everything. And it very much is like a film of the past, where it doesn't give in to temptation to slap a load of references and social commentary in the film, but instead it gives us a story that's fun for the whole family, delivers a great message, and it does it with style and pizzazz. There is a hint that we may see Shrek in the near future, and with Shrek, his last film was Shrek Forever After in 2010, so another long stretch of time there, and I think in this current climate with social media, I think a new Shrek film could actually work really well. Because Shrek is such a big part in meme culture, you'll get different generations going to the cinema to see it as well, and Shrek is love.
It's all ogre now. Shrek leaves through my window. Shrek is love. Shrek is life.
But yeah, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is an incredibly entertaining film, and if somebody asks you what family film they should watch this weekend, then Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is definitely one to go to. But let me know your thoughts on Puss in Boots: The Last Wish in the comments below, and also let me know your favourite Shrek film overall. And if you wish to see our thoughts on another animated film, on screen is our review for Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.